Hello everyone, my name is Nazeer, and in today's video I'm going to share with you one of the most important subject, grammatical subject, which calls affixes. Now, what do we mean by affixes? Affixes usually, as if we go define it, affixes are bound morphemes that are occurs before or within or after the base. Now, what do you mean by base? Base itself is the base word which gives you a complete idea or which has a principal meaning. Get it? Okay. Now, generally we have three kinds of affixes. We have prefixes, as you can see here, prefixes, and we have infixes and suffixes. We have three kinds of, or three types of affixes. Okay, first one, it's prefixes. Prefixes usually when we add prefixes at, let's say, before the base. Before the base, when we add some certain bound morphemes such as in or im or in, etc. We have a group of bound morphemes. When we add at the beginning of the base, becomes prefix. For example, if I give you an example like, for example, happy. Yes, happy, it's adjective, right? If we add a prefix, we will say unhappy, right? This is what we mean by prefix. Or another example, for example, we have direct. We will say indirect, right? So here, in is bound morpheme. Now, what do we mean by bound morpheme? Bound morpheme, usually the morphemes that they don't have meaning. It cannot stand alone. It cannot give you complete meaning. Whereas base, it has a principal meaning. It can stand alone. This is what we mean by prefix. Prefix and base. Okay. Now here we will say this one is prefix, and this one is base. This is the base of it. Okay. Understand, guys? Okay. Let's go to the second one, which calls infix. Infix, as I mentioned before, infix are some certain words we have in English language, in English grammar. Of course, now we are dealing with morphology, right? For process of word formation, right? So, affix is one of types of you can make new words, right? By adding either prefix, infix, and suffixes, right? It's okay. The second one is infix. You have some certain words in English language, when you, for example, change into plural, the changes will let's say happen inside the word, right? For example, you have this word. You have man. If we say man, it is singular, right? When we change it into plural, it becomes man, right? So here you can see, as you can see, the change is inside the word, not the beginning, not at the end of the word. It's inside the word. It is inside the word, right? Or you have another example. For example, you have goose, right? Goose is singular, right? If we change it into plural, we will say geese, right? So here, the same thing with man. The changes are inside the word, right? So this is why we call it infix, means inside the word. Okay. The last one, which is the most important one, is suffixes, right? Suffixes are also bound morphemes we add to the base, I mean at the end of the base. Okay? When we add suffixes at the end of the base, the word, in English language. So it gives you a new word, right? So here we have two types or two kinds of suffixes, two groups of suffixes. Each of them, they are different meaning, or we use it in different conditions, in different situations. In our speech, in English grammar, we use it in different contexts. Okay? So the first one, suffixes are divided into two parts. The first one is inflectional suffixes. The second one is derivational suffixes. The first one, inflectional suffixes. Inflectional suffixes are a group of words which they don't change part of speech. Understand? They don't change part of speech. What do we mean by changing part of speech? Now, part of speech we have in grammar, we have noun, we have verb, adjective, adverb, etc. Right? So when you add inflectional suffixes to the base or to the word, the part of speech will not change. For example, if you have noun and you add one of the let's say inflectional suffixes, the noun will remain as the same. It will remain the noun, will not change into verb or into adjective, into adverb, will remain as the same before. Okay? For example, if we add, if you give in this example, boy, right? Boy, it is a noun, right? When we add, for example, s plural, it becomes boys, right? So here it doesn't change into verb or into adjective or into other, etc. Part of speech, right? So here boy is noun, and we added suffix, and it is still noun. It doesn't change, right? Another example, for example, if you have long is adjective. All of us knows that, right? It's adjective. When we change it into comparative, we add er, right? So long, longer. Long is adjective, and we add er, it is still adjective. It didn't change, right? So this is what we mean by inflectional suffixes. Inflectional suffixes, they don't affect on part of speech, and they don't change part of speech. For example, noun to adjective, adjective to adverb, they will not let's say affect on part of speech. Okay, the second one, which is completely opposite, derivational suffixes. Derivational suffixes, there are a group of let's say morphemes, group of suffixes which they change part of speech. This time they change part of speech. For example, if you have verb, when you add derivational suffixes, they will change from verb to noun. A simple example, for example, if you have teach, right? If you have teach, so teach here is verb, right? When you add one of the derivational suffixes, for example, if you add er, it becomes teacher, right? In this case, it changes into noun, right? It becomes teacher. So teacher, all of us we know it is noun, right? Another example, one of the traditional suffix, for example, if you say daily, right? If you add ly to day, the first one was noun, and the second one changes into adverb, right? So this is what we mean by affixes and traditional suffixes and inventional suffixes and etc. Okay? Hopefully you got some advantage from me and some benefit from me, and thank you for watching me. Hope subscribe my YouTube Nazeer English, and now I have my own account on Facebook, Nazeer Surchi, and thank you. Have a good